Anyway, so speaking of Artie's book.
Thank you, Amos.
Bob Levy was asked to read 2 chapters of the audiobook. Artie got lazy and only read a couple of his chapters, so then he had Gary read some. And then just in the bizarre move in book history, he asked Bob Levy to read some of his book.
Of all people.
And here are yet more bloopers. We're getting them in spurts, I guess you would say. Here's Bob Levy attempting to read Artie's book. I feel so bad for the engineer in this clip. And stop me if it starts to get boring to you, but I'm fascinated.
You are off the map. Completely
incommunicado.
Okay. Completely incommunicado.
One more on it.
What is it called?
Incommunicado. Completely incommunicado.
Levy's like proud to be an imbecile.
What is it called again?
Incommunicado. Incommunicado.
And I just got a copy of the audiobook, and it's funny. It's like, it's Levy's name in big letters. Like, he's got credits on the front. I paid him pretty well for it, for a session. I don't know.
Completely incommunicado. You take somebody by both sides of the head and introduce... You take somebody by both sides of the head and... What the fuck? How the fuck is Druce introduce?
What?
Okay.
Both of their head, stop, and introduce their nose. You take someone by both sides of their head.
Okay. You take somebody by both sides of the head and introduce their nose to...
And introduce their nose to your kneecap.
And introduce their nose to your kneecap.
One more on
yeah.
it.
And introduce your nose to their kneecap.
Well, introduce their nose to your kneecap.
Okay. And introduce your nose to their kneecap.
Introduce their nose to your kneecap.
Okay. And introduce your nose, their nose, okay. And introduce their nose to your kneecap. And looked up at me as I began. And looked up at me. And looked... Oh, you motherfucker. And looked up at me as I began... And looked up at me as I began...
And looked up at me as I began reciting them.
And looked up at me as I began... And looked up at me as I began...
And looked up at me as I began reciting them.
Oh, my
and
God.
Looked up at me as And looked up at me as... Fuck me. And looked up at me as I began reciting them.
Great, man.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Way to go.
He's praising him.
It's like a second-grade teacher.
Listen, it's like Bob can't read. I mean, let's face it.
Wow.
Really cool.
Really cool.
Why would Bob
We
take
all
this
knew
job?
around the dispatch... We all knew around the dispatch... off. God damn it, that's a fucked up word.
It's so hard to say. Dispatch office.
Dispatch.
Just no, dispatch office. Say them together. It's hard to say together.
Okay.
Dispatch office. Say it right now.
We all knew around the dispatch office because it was funny in the way that it was so primal that there was no way at all that he could have possibly
So he could have possibly premeditated it. Try that. That he could have possibly premeditated it.
That he could have possibly because it was funny in a way that was so primal that there was no way at all that he could possibly premeditate it. That he could that there was no way at all that he could have possibly that there was no way at all that he could have possibly premeditate. What is it?
Premeditated it.
Okay, I'll never forget what the guy said to me, because it was funny in the way that it was so primal that there was no way at all that he could have possibly premeditated it.
Jesus.
That is unbelievable.
You know, it's also, when he was reading this thing, he probably couldn't put too much into the read because he's so nervous about getting the words right.
But no, does he understand anything that he's saying?
We gave him 2 of the shortest chapters to read, and thank God the one guy, the producer, is an enormous fan of the show, so he knew this was going to be an issue.
Right.
And he was actually having fun with it. And then he said, but, you know, it took time, but we got them both, and they sound all right.
I heard Bob's upset with me because, you know, and I really meant this in the nicest way, and I guess I put my foot in my mouth or something, but... So, Bob sent over a wedding gift, you know, which was extremely sweet of the guy, because Bob wasn't invited to the wedding, but
right.
I guess in honor of my marriage, he wanted to send something over. We get a check in the mail for like $500.
Oh, my goodness.
And I turned to Beth and I went, oh, my God. I said, Bob doesn't have any money.
He's getting punched out by Danny Bonaducci for money.
And I said, oh, I feel so bad. So she said, do you not want me to cash it? I said, look, that'd be really insulting to Bob if you don't cash his check. You know, it's for charity.
Right.
I said, he would be very, very insulted. So I guess I got on the air and I said, gee, Bob sent this $500 gift. I wish he hadn't sent it. And what I meant to say was, because I'm worried about Bob. And so I guess Bob got on the radio the other night on Miserable Men and said that he's very angry.
He
is
insulting. Miserable now.
He thinks that what did he say? He thinks that...
I don't think he said this on Miserable Man. I think he's been sort of keeping this in, but telling a bunch of people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, so that's even worse.
He's upset that, that you sort of didn't think he had the money to give to you.
Yeah, I do. I'm just going off the stories everybody tells me that Bob doesn't have any money, and I just felt bad, so I was worried about him. That's what I was worried about. I'm being honest.
He makes all right money. He just has a lot of going on in his life, overhead. And
Howard.
Yes, Sal.
There's one more big element that he left. Oh, you know?
No, I'm getting to it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't exactly sure.
It's actually two more big elements.
So Beth has been in charge of sending thank you notes. Whenever we get something, Beth said, now I'm your wife. I'd like to be able to send the thank you notes. I said, that's great, because she's so much better at writing these things than I am.
Yeah, she writes beautiful notes. And
she got right on it. I mean, as soon as somebody sent a gift, she sent a beautiful thank you note. Well, Gary tells me this morning Bob's been steaming because he got a thank you note. Instead of saying Dear Bob, says Dear Don.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I don't even know who Don... Maybe hers
Not
got...
only could he not afford the gift, now you've misnamed him?
I guess. Maybe either she sent it to the wrong person or...
There's one other element, too. It's a tiny element.
What's the other element?
The gift, there was a note when they sent the gift that it was from Bob and his wife, but the envelope was only addressed to Bob.
Well, that's Bob's fault, because Bob only sent the gift from, this check says Bob Levy.
The check says Bob Levy, but the note says Bob and whoever.
Okay. Honestly, God, I can't even...
you just said Bob and whoever.
Well, I don't know Bob.
Yeah, neither do we, and I don't know
but it's in the note.
I don't even know that I read the note.
It's Christine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife is Christine.
Very nice.
Okay. Well, sorry, Bob. That's our fault. I'll send you another note. I feel bad. Can you just write Beth a note saying we sent Bob Levy a note that was sent to Don?
Do you realize how many etiquette faux pas you made to Bob Levy?
Yeah,
so, Sal, was he complaining on the road this weekend? What did he say?
He's like, you believe that cocksucker? Because I sent him a gift. First, he wants to send it back. Then he thinks that...
Wanted to send it back because I was worried about it.
Right. He goes, but I can afford this shit. And then he goes, and then I get this goddamn letter. I open it up and goes... Dear Don, who the fuck is Don? Who the fuck is this guy? I can't read. He can't even write my fucking name.
But I feel bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob.
I was laughing my balls.
You're on the road of life. You do a good Levy now.
I tell you, Yucko's suicidal too.
You sent me some pictures. Sal sent me some pictures of Yucko backstage at the Killers of Comedy, and Yucko just sits there with his head in his hands. He
buries his head in his hands for the whole show.
He's pretty depressed.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, the wife left him.
Yeah, I hope he gets a piece of ass. He deserves it. And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
And I know.
Is he getting laid at all? Do any girls come on to him?
He has no desire. I want to take him out.
You want to know that the dude's in a clown costume. Yeah. I mean, really, how's he going to pick up girls? Girls are not attracted to a guy in a clown costume. That's why he was clinging to that one chick.
He's a good guy, and he got sort of barreled over by this broad, but I think he'll
bounce back.
Yeah, you gotta get new pussy, man.
He played it crazy. She kept saying, I don't want to get married. And he said, let's get married and you'll see you'll like it.
She shouldn't have showed up.
Why didn't my wife say that to me?
She shouldn't have showed up for the wedding. If you're going there getting ossified drunk, you don't walk down the aisle. That broad was no good.
Hey, so we got this girl who flew all the way in from California. All right, it's time to find out if Bob Levy is a complete idiot or just a partial idiot. King of all grammar is here. This is a guy who professionally administers tests. We're going to find out two things. When Artie's audiobook came out, Artie asked Bob Levy to read a chapter. And we saw that Bob's reading ability was very, very, let's say, poor.
Well, it had been suspect for some time, but that sort of brought it front and center.
It sure did. King of all grammar is here. Thanks, King, for stopping by and helping us with this bit, if you want to call Bob's life a bit.
I know.
Bob, are you nervous about the results at all? And also,
no. I live my life outside without reading, and that's how I live. I mean, I don't care about this shit. It doesn't mean anything.
What you don't care about is obvious. I mean, but is that a defense mechanism? Isn't it something that maybe you want to work on?
Maybe I will after if this comes out real.
How do you feel about, like you have a child.
Yeah.
Do you want him to live a life without reading?
I told him stay in school. I said, I got lucky. You will not get lucky.
What do you think happened to you? Were you a poor reader and everyone just ignored the fact?
I think school was easy to pass back then. There was so many kids in the class.
How exactly did you get lucky?
I don't have to work with you anymore.
Oh. Is that true? We're not working together?
Is it true you're trying to have a baby now with the new wife?
Yes.
Why would you do that? I know you're low on money. You're like the Octo Mom.
Why am I low? Everybody, I'm low on money. I live in the basement. I mean, where the fuck you guys...
You perpetuate all that. You say that.
That was 3 years ago.
Are you doing better?
I'm doing better. I live in a nice place.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. And she wants to have a kid. I dropped one in last night. Hopefully it took.
Oh, are you having trouble conceiving?
No, we only tried for 2 months now. She's got this kit and all that shit. They go by.
What does the kit tell you?
It says that she's ovulating or whatever.
She's what?
Ovulating.
Ovulating?
That was one of the words on the test.
Oh, is it? Ovulating? All right. Well, Bob, it's time to find out. Now,
you should be able to pass a reading test to become a father, I think.
King of all grammar, what is this reading test? You give this to elementary school kids?
I do.
You do? All right. Yeah. That's what you do professionally.
Right.
So he should have just whizzed through this.
I did whiz through it.
It didn't take him long. He whizzed on it. All right. So we understand we're going to find out 2 things about Bob's ability right now. We're going to find out not only what his reading level is, but also his comprehension level. Not only his ability to say the words and read them, but really what he understands. And we took a guess.
He understands what you're saying.
Do you want to hear the tape first, Howard?
Yeah, I do want to hear the tape.
Okay.
All right, here is Bob taking the test.
So here's how it goes. Go to Gary, page 1. Okay, the first thing, it's on the far right-hand side. Okay, the first thing is just Bob reading words, not paragraphs or phrases, just words.
Here is King of all grammar administering the test as Bob reads words. Let's find out.
Pianismo. Redesverus. Repatriate.
Oh, this is a great game.
Temmered.
By the way, I'm trying to figure out what word Bob...
That's what I'm saying. It's a great game. Try to figure out what word Bob is trying to say.
I'm going to start out again, and then I'm going to... Let me see if I can play that game.
That last word was cat.
I'm going to start again, because the first word I could not figure out.
I got the first word,
I
think.
do, too. Yeah. I don't think I do. Hold on.
All right.
Pianismo. Might have been pancreas.
Pianissimo.
Is it pianist?
Pianissimo.
No. What?
I think it's pianissimo.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Pianissimo. Pianissimo.
Okay.
So can't blame a guy for not knowing that.
Yeah, who the fuck knows
that? That's one of the tougher words, right?
The guy's not gay.
Okay.
That's 11th grade.
Repatriate.
Repatriate? What is he trying to say?
Right.
Repatriate? Okay.
Shrapnel.
Shrapnel?
Shrapnel.
Wow, he can't say shrapnel, huh?
Shrapnel.
Sharp.
I can't, you know what I mean? I can't get the words together. I know what it is.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's almost like a dyslexia.
That's what it is. I'm just...
No, wait a second. Dyslexic is reading, isn't it? If you tell a guy a word and he can't repeat it, what's that called?
Retarded.
Like Bob, say shrimp.
Shrimp. I'm from New York, and we say shrimp.
Right.
You know, it's just a word that I grew up with.
I talk to New Yorkers a lot.
Say that word again.
Shrimp.
No, the other one.
The what?
Shrapnel.
Strap metal.
What?
Strap metal.
What?
Strap.
No, shrapnel.
Strap metal.
Listen to me. Look at me. Shrap.
You're pretending now.
Shrapnel.
Shrapnel.
Shrapnel. I'm pretending. This is what I wanted to do.
You know what shrapnel is?
What is what?
What do you say?
Shrapnel?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like shrapnel. It's like the extra like parts of like when you shoot somebody. Shrapnel.
Right.
Okay. It's like when you shoot somebody.
We'll take that.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right. King, this has to be some case, huh?
This was, none like I've ever seen.
Really? Is that true?
I don't have much experience with adults,
right.
but, I mean...
You wouldn't expect it.
Bob, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
All right, let's see.
Bob is adult.
Yeah, that sounded weird saying that anyway.
He's a big dolt.
Major dolt. Upholstery.
Wow.
Okay.
Fastidious. Facious.
I think that's facetious, right?
Facetious?
Or fictitious.
I think I got that after a while.
Yeah, that was facetious.
Yeah.
Facetious.
Feudalism. Garrulous. Renaissance. Synopsis.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Can you say that word, synopsis?
Synopsis. Oh, now, synopsis.
What?
Say it again.
Synopsis.
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 Right.
Synopsis.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Cross that one off.
Got it.
Veranda, you know. Anachronism.
Anachronism?
Anachronism.
All right. Can you say anachronism?
Anachronism?
Right.
Why don't you just get a machine that just kicks me in the balls every time I come in here? What was that last one?
Anachronism.
Anachronism. Fuck this. Anachronism.
Pick up the audiobook Too Fat to Fit.
Hey, I did good on that. I was there for fucking 10 days.
I know.
Oh, yuck.
What?
Sustenance. Substance.
No. Sustenance.
Sustenance?
Yeah.
Sustenance.
Yeah.
And you know what it is, right? When you hear it?
Do you know what sustenance means?
I know it's sustenance. No.
Yeah.
I know what substance means.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Substance?
It's like a substance, like you got shit on the table over there.
Substance?
No.
What is it?
I don't know.
There is no substance. It's sustenance.
I don't know that word.
But think about it. What word would it be derived from, like in the language?
Oh, why are you saying that?
Most
He's like, what is derived?
Like sustain, right? Sustain.
You held you didn't come, like it's like I lasted long.
You didn't come, right?
I didn't come, right?
Sustenance is when you don't come.
I lasted long, right?
Right.
No.
King of all grammar, you are shocked, are you not?
I am.
Let's continue with the test.
Going to be shot after this.
Here is Bob taking his reading comprehension test.
I did that.
Right, so this is now him reading paragraphs of thoughts.
Okay.
Punctuality at midday with obscure resplendent with scarred ash and vermilion, and his eyes sparkled with a sharp abnormal gleam, which was really an outcome of a continual search and look for customers. To crown the effect, he wound a saffron-colored turban around his head. This colors, I know that fucking word. This color scheme never failed. People were attracted to him, and the heliostalks. Okay.
The what?
Punctuality at midday.
The heliostalks?
What is that?
What do you do after you give him that to read? Do you ask him what it means?
Ask him questions about it.
Right, that's the next tape is, what does it mean that you just heard, Bob?
What is the main idea of this story?
To fucking make me crazy? I have no idea. I really, I think this guy had a lot of shit. He definitely had a lot of stuff with him that I have no idea what the fuck it was. You know?
But when did the man open his bag and spread out his professional equipment?
When did he?
When did he?
At the beginning.
Is that wrong?
That's wrong.
That's what fucked me up.
You didn't even get that right?
At the beginning of the story it happened. But
right.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but no, it's wrong. What does the word resplendent mean?
Resplendent.
Resplendent.
Resplendent. I have no fucking clue.
Resplendent.
No.
What caused his eyes to sparkle with a sharp, abnormal gleam?
When he looked into his bag.
Was that wrong?
That was incorrect as well, yeah.
Right.
So he had no understanding of what he read is what you're saying.
On this particular one,
I did good on the other ones.
you got 2 out of 10 correct.
Wow.
And
All right.
both.
So now it's time to find out. Now it's time. King of all grammar. You do this with school-age children. Grammar
you
school.
can actually give him a grade of the level at which he is performing.
What are we going to learn first? His comprehension, or what grade level he reads at?
What grade level he reads at?
All right. I'm going to tell you. Howard guessed.
Took guesses. Yeah.
5th grade. 5th grade. Robin guessed 3rd grade. Artie guessed 2nd grade, and Fred guessed 6th grade. Who is closest, and what is the actual reading level of Reverend Bob Levy, the very well-known stand-up comic?
The actual reading level of Reverend Bob Levy is grade 6.
Oh,
Grade
wow.
6.
You're kidding.
Yes.
Fred, you win that
I
one.
knew my customer.
That's better than I thought.
You reached frustration level, which means 5 or more words wrong at grade 7. So you move 1 back. Grade 6 is.
So he reads on a 6th grade reading level. Bob, you're happy.
I'm fucking thrilled.
Wow. What did you think, Bob? You thought you were like a second
I thought
grader?
it was like 4th. So this is fucking... I'm celebrating today.
Graduated
So you're
from
saying
high school.
just the ability to read the words. You don't even have to understand them. Just the ability to sound out and read words.
Basic decoding skills.
You're kidding me that 6th graders can't read any better than that?
That's...
What's wrong?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I know my kid can read better than that, but second of all...
Yeah, there are kids who can read better than that because there are 6th graders that read at a 10th grade reading level.
Bob's not being really genuine when saying he's happy, because yesterday in the pre-interview, he told Will he thought he read at an 8th grade level.
Oh.
Yeah, but I said I would probably be a 4th. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm happy with 6. Believe me, that is very.
All right.
What else
my
can
son's
we
going to
learn?
be proud of me.
When you went for your reading test, the written test on the driver's license, were you able to pass it?
Oh yeah. I knew how to drive before.
What, did you memorize?
Yeah, we would take it home. I'd have somebody, and I knew what to do.
Right.
Cheesy. Cheat.
Okay. Cheat.
Cheat. That's all you got to do.
All right, go ahead. King of all grammar. Now, here's the real one. What does Bob understand, and what level is he
Reading comprehension.
All right, you want me to start from the beginning and just tell you? We did the pre-primer first, which is basically like pre-K, like kindergarten type reading.
Okay.
Got all the questions right.
Okay. So
kindergarten reading, he's great.
Okay.
He's great at it.
Piece of cake.
1st grade, he got 2 out of 8 questions correct.
All right.
What?
Comprehension.
2 at 1st grade reading level, 2 out of 8.
So that would put him somewhere between kindergarten and 1st grade.
And retarded.
But
Wow.
2nd grade, he did better. So
really?
Yeah, 2nd grade, he did better. Answered the questions. He got 7 out of 8. So his actual level, I'm gonna say is a 3rd grade reading level.
See, that's what I really meant about 3rd grade. Yeah.
Hey, Bob, way to go. I thought it was going to be like a comprehension like 1st grade, so I think you're way ahead of the game.
I don't know how I get through life. I mean, I can. I do it without this.
You
I do
well.
well without this, truthfully.
Yeah. Well, you're on the level of a 3rd grader, and 3rd graders can get through life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You throw them outside.
How much reading do you really need to do?
You don't. My wife walks around with a book. I'm like, get that out of the house. We don't need that shit around.
So we finally know. So is Bob retarded?
Yeah.
I would say Bob's retarded. Bob's a street smart guy. That's basically what it comes down to.
Right. He just doesn't understand
But what happened to him in school?
They let me go by.
Probably just like they do. They just pass you on if there's no hope for you.
I will say,
well, not there's no hope, but
no, maybe I'll want to read
nowadays
more.
they sort of take these kids, give them special programs, and try to help them out so that they don't get like Bob. But somehow each teacher kept passing him through. Because with a 3rd grade comprehension, there's no way he could have passed 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade.
Right, he couldn't do the rest of the schoolwork.
Yeah, they just let you through. I would get a 65 all the time, and that's just passing.
Did you graduate high school?
No, but I did go for like 5 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What grade did you get up to?
I got up to like 11th many times.
Many times.
A few times. And then like the kids were like 5 years younger than me, and I just dropped out. I couldn't take it.
Was that traumatizing?
Yeah, it was.
Do you know what traumatizing means?
Yes.
Okay,
I was sort of like right now.
All right. Gary, what do you want to say?
Bob, I got a question for you. How do you... Does somebody read your contracts for you? In other words, when a comedy club sends you a contract, do you look at it? Or do you read it?
It's very simple, the contracts. I tell them what to put down on it, and...
It's like a 3rd grader.
But do you know if they did?
No, I definitely do.
Have you ever been screwed because you couldn't read the contract?
No, never.
I've signed some Levy contracts, and he's right. They literally say, you get $1,500. I get $200. He gets 2 drink minimum.
Right.
She gets Jane runs fast.
Run.
No, but I can't laugh at Bob because you talk about in the 80s when we went to school, maybe they did let people through.
They really screwed up on him, though.
Well, I had summer school. I had summer school with this woman, and the woman said to us, because she was afraid of us, she said, because we misbehaved all the time. Remember the woman I told you I sprayed her with a water pistol and all that shit? She was my summer school teacher. She told 4 of us, look, sit in the back, don't say a thing. Don't bother me. I'll give you a D, and you'll get out of high school.
Well, but look, I mean, you're able to read. You wrote a book.
I read very well.
Bob, are you back to drinking? I heard you are back to drinking.
I drank a few times since I threw out my shoulder.
Yeah.
And the pills are not working with the shoulder. And, I got a little fucked up.
Are you back to using Coke?
No.
What?
No, I'm on a lot of pills.
You want to swear on the life of your child you're not back on
Why
coke?
am I always swearing on the life of my child?
Are you using coke again?
I might have slipped once in 2 years.
When?
Last night.
Last night, right?
No.
Come on.
No, I've been great. I'm telling you.
Don't be A-Rod.
No, I've been great. I'm
hearing reports about you.
What reports?
I heard you were very messed up.
No, I'm not. I am the most normal person out of all those fuckheads back
Want to take a drug test?
No.
Right, okay.
What, we got a drug test?
Liar.
Wait a minute. You know, he's sounding just like those guys on Celebrity Rehab.
No, I mean, my life is...
I had shoulder pain. So
well, listen, if the guy says he didn't do coke, I mean, why bust his balls about it?
No, it's just that the reason for the drinking, I have shoulder pain.
Do you believe Bob?
Yeah, if Bob tells me he didn't do coke, if Bob tells me he did coke once in the last 2 years, clearly I've been seeing things.
What is this, Gary?
Here we go. Here comes the bus.
No, it's all good.
Hey, first of all, I should mention that Bob... what are you sipping on every
water.
minute?
He's just slurping.
Is that what
That's all they give you fucking
Why are you so
here?
thirsty? Jesus.
Because I had to fucking read. Guy trying to make me read.
Show Howard the new drink that you think is the best thing ever.
Oh, this is for Artie. I got him this. It's 5 hour energy, and it'll get him through the show. He won't have to sleep anymore.
I need that.
You live by it.
No, it actually works, and it doesn't get you fucked up.
I might try that. 5 hour energy. First of all, see Bob Levy with Colin Quinn. That's a good lineup.
We have a huge lineup now.
This Saturday night at the Treehouse Comedy Club in Stamford, Connecticut. Would you stop sipping like that?
I'm sorry. This fucking guy made me read and read and
done
read.
in a minute. For tickets, go to thetreehousecomedy.com.
Yeah.
Bob is funny as hell, and you know Colin Quinn's funny. And also, see Bob with the Killers of Comedy February 20th at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. You are really on fire.
Yes, this whole month we're everywhere.
You might not read well, but you're funny. That's what counts.
That's it.
No wonder he gets along so well with Beetlejuice.
Yeah. You guys aren't that far off.
No, definitely not.
You talk to him a lot and get along
with him?
Oh, no.
He comes to my house. He stayed at my house. He's so polite. I mean, I understand him. He understands me.
Wow. I find that hard to believe that Beetlejuice is actually a normal guy.
Yeah, well, compared to Bobby. For tickets, go to see RevBobLevy.com. RevBobLevy.com. And you'll get all the information. Now, you, King of All Grammar, I know you drove down here and you helped us out with this, so you've won $500 courtesy of mangroomer.com.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. The new Man Groomer is the essential do-it-yourself electric back hair shaver. Do you have back hair?
Like you wouldn't believe.
Look at this guy.
A ton of it, huh?
Well, no, I have spots here and there. It's like it's a shoulder thing,
Well, the groomer is only $39.99. You go to mangroomer.com. It's a great thing. It looks like a back scratcher, except it shaves all the hair off your back. Artie's using it right now.
Yeah,
is it working all right?
My neck. I use it on my neck and my inner ear.
Yeah. His back hair grows so fast. Yes, use it 3 times.
I've worked with Bob and Colin Quinn on the road a couple of times, and it's a great show. But it's another reason to see this is because it's entertaining in a morbid way. To see Colin working on one of Levy's shows is kind of like when Joe Louis was forced to wrestle.
No, he loves it.
At the end of his career.
The new lineup is me, Florentine, Nick, and Colin. And we're selling great. Since Artie doesn't call us anymore, so we started our own thing.
Florentine, do you see him with women, or is he still...
No, he just talks about Robin.
Oh, please.
Does he really? Is he still mentioning Robin?
No, he says that, you talk and you get along great, and that's great. A breakup's a breakup, right? And what the fuck? You should have banged me when I told you. You can't.
You'd still be with her.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like coffee.
Mangroomer.com. Maintain yourself. So that's $500 right there. Thank you for putting in the hours with us. We do appreciate it. And Bob Levy, listen, you can't read. That's true. And you can't understand what you read. That's even more true. But you are a funny guy.
Isn't it good if you can't read that you don't understand what you read?
That's great. You can make up excuses.
Yeah, you can make up anything you want. Hey, by the way, don't miss Bob on Miserable Men. I should mention that on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock on Howard 101.
Every Sunday. I love that show.
It's a great show.
It is.
You guys do a good job.
And, Bob, I would call you for gigs. I mean, I love paying an opener 5 Gs. Anyway.
Thank you, Bob, for making us all feel smart today.
Thank you. Anytime you guys want to feel good about yourself, I'll be back.
King of All Grammar, do you want to say something?
Can I throw a plug out there real quick?
King of All Grammar has a plug?
Well, not for myself.
He'll be at the Treehouse with me this Saturday.
Giving you a reading test. What is it, King?
I brought some cookies down from friends of mine that own a cookie company up in Saratoga. Park19cookies.com. They're really good. Artie, you should try them out.
They look fantastic. Thank you. I saw them out.
Park19.com?
Park19cookies.com.
Park19cookies.com. Artie will try them out. I'm sure that he will eat every one of them.
That, and if I fall asleep after the third cookie, I'll take Bob's 5-hour energy, and I'll get enough energy to eat the last two.
What is it, Dan? Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, I sort of feel bad for Bob. I mean, I know he brings it upon himself, but I mean, I don't know how a man that can't read like this can survive in the world like today. So it's sort of amazing at the same time.
Well, listen, he has a skill. He's a funny guy. He, despite the fact that he can't read, he's managed a stand-up career, which is very funny.
And as King of All Grammar said, he's street smart.
If you saw his stand-up, you'd think he was at a 5th grade reading level.
You want to know, everyone says Bob's street smart, but I think if you gave him a comprehension of street smarts, he'd probably be 3rd grade level.
No,
just to reiterate to the kids out there, though, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing to have something like that happen, I think, right?
You need to know to read.
Yeah, that's what I tell kids.
And Bob is missing out a lot in his life. Like, when you read the paper, it's fun to comprehend it.
Well, I know I can read the sports. I can kind of...
He doesn't read the paper.
Do you kind of understand the sports?
Yeah,
a little bit? You know what's going on with A-Rod and all that kind of...
I read it. I get the guy delivering.
Nobody reads... Like, it's an entire generation... Well, Bob is older, but... nobody reads the newspaper anymore.
It's true.
Like, guys like Teddy and J.D., I'm on the road with them, and I go, pick me up a newspaper, and... I go, don't you guys ever read the paper? They're like, no. They play video games. Like, Teddy plays video games.
A lot of gay guys do. You know what's amazing? I was just speaking of newspapers. I was reading that Cablevision, of course, bought Newsday, which is a newspaper on Long Island. It is the most successful newspaper. When I was a kid, we'd get Newsday. This newspaper was so thick with ads, you couldn't even find any news.
Yeah, it was hard to find the news.
It was just all ads. Well, it says here today in the paper that Newsday is doing so badly that Cablevision doesn't even know what to do with it.
Wow.
And I can't believe this. That was a license to print money, that thing. If you own Newsday, you were going to be a billionaire. That was the end of it. There's no competition. It's the only paper. Long Island's the 11th largest market in the United States.
Why are you screaming?
Well, because Bob doesn't understand a thing I'm saying.
I'm just looking at him. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, never mind.
Were you checking the light? Well, good for you.
King of all grammar, thank you. And Reverend Bob Levy, continued success.
Thank you. And Kills and Comedy on the Road on Howard TV.
Oh, hey, by the way, I got to mention that. There is a great series of Killers of Comedy on the Road on Howard TV. Several episodes. I think it's like a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
right?
there's 3 right now, and there'll be one each week coming.
And it's airing on Howard TV exclusively. It features behind-the-scenes antics, the comedians as they travel across the country. See Bob Levy handle Beetlejuice. You know, that's a whole show in itself. Yeah. The way they have to get him around. Shuli's on there, Yucko. Gary the Retard is on there, Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
And
see Colin Quinn weeping?
No, that's why I'm with Colin.
You will never get an inside look at... We even had an outside company do this whole piece.
Yeah. And
it's pretty spectacular. So that's just another thing on Howard TV. All right, thanks, boys.
Thank you,
And we'll be back right after these words.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Hôm nay bên em lại về một chiếc xe Hyundai Accent, xe sản xuất 2021, bản đặc biệt 1.4 số tự động, và xe có phiên bản này là phiên bản màu đỏ. Accent là một trong những dòng mà phân khúc hạng B. Giá cả rất phải chăng và đẹp. Bạn có thể nhìn thấy mặt ca năng lưới tản nhiệt rất là đẹp luôn, biểu tượng Hyundai. Đèn trước thì rất là thể thao và cũng rất là sáng đẹp. Đấy.